So how do I be with the anger and fear that comes as a result of being in the world, experiencing the world? So just as we've been speaking of, that everything that's happening is for our evolution. So how I would see it is that if we're experiencing fear or anger, it's because anger is in us. So I would even say that the anger in us is creating an experience for us to be angry. So this is the wisdom of consciousness. This is the intelligence. There's anger that is unconscious. There's anger that's already in us. And so that anger creates a situation to pull that anger forward. So if that anger comes forward and I'm just angry and I'm just emoting and I'm just joining into that fear frequency, and in a way the anger is likely there because fear is stirred, right? So that anger and that fear, and if I just get very engaged in that and I project it and like I cycle it back into the collective of what I'm seeing, then it can feel like I'm releasing it in the moment, and I'm joining with the collective anger and fear. And of course, that can bring a certain sense of belonging, but it's not the belonging that we're really longing for. And so what I would invite is that when the anger and the fear come, if we can be with the anger as if we're meeting like an angry child in us, if we can meet the anger and the fear like we're meeting a frightened child in us, we're meeting a part of us, an old part of us, and it can be like a karmic, multi-lifetime part of us, or it can be something in this lifetime, but we don't need to actually know the story, because at the level of the energy and what's arising in our nervous system, we have this incredible potent power to meet it and allow this transmutation of just allowing the energy, the sensation, the aliveness to be here. And again, to perhaps be able to breathe with it, even to make sound, to move the body, to allow the aliveness of that energy, or to rest with it, to breathe with it, and to allow. It can even be useful if there's anger or fear, like to allow the expression with yourself, like hear yourself, but don't necessarily project it, because when you hear yourself, you hear what your story is behind that, and you like listen to yourself, you receive yourself in that. And there can be a wisdom in realizing, wow, well, I'm really angry about this, or I'm really afraid of this. But it's very different to be conscious with ourself in that process, because when we're conscious in it and we allow the energy to move, it releases, and we release ourselves from the karmic resonance. Sometimes it gets called like shifting timelines, like that anger and that fear is an old timeline of a child, or another situation. It's that it's stored fear and anger, and yes, the situation now is bringing it up, but there's this dance that it's like the chicken and the egg, right? Does the story or the anger come? What comes first? And it's like if it's in there, if it's in there, then it's creating it. But it might seem like the situation is making us angry, but it's just showing us what's inside us. So in a way, it's not about trying to work that part of it out, but by being the big light, being the field of love that includes and welcomes and receives, and allowing this angry energy, this fearful energy to be here and to be received by the love, the welcome, then it softens and it opens, and this frightened, angry child part of us is released from the karmic resonance and opens to remember its true nature, and then a softening, because the essence of everything is the same one. So again, that references where we were speaking of life and the play being for our evolution, right?